What's up, friends? I think sometimes we all get caught up in kind of big, well-known companies, and we get used to seeing the big names. And sometimes what happens is the smaller companies don't get as much credit as they should. Enter Fracture Sounds from the north of England. If you head over to their website, you will recognize some familiar names, some familiar faces. There is some incredible things going on in this company. Full disclosure, they reached out to me and sent me a copy of Soft String Soloists to review. Mostly just kind of blown away that I just didn't know about them. This is the first of many libraries of theirs that I'm going to review. This library installs at just under 37 gigabytes, so it's a good chunk of a library. It's built for Contact Player, free version, minimum 6.7 or higher. They recommend at least an 8-core CPU, 16 gigs of RAM, and an external SSD. So you'd be installing this library through native access. Let's take a look. I did add an instance of their Trails dulcichord, I don't know how to say it, dulcichord, only because I thought it would pair perfectly with this library. There'll be a full review of Trails coming. Everything else featured in this has all been from the Soft Strings libraries. Okay, so we have the solo violin open up here. We have the dynamics control, which is which would be automatically assigned to your mod wheel, or if you have a fancy controller, which I definitely need to get. If anyone has any recommendations out there, they're not going to break the bank, please let me know. So this is your legato, which is going to be the bulk of what I talk about, is their legato patches. We'll get into it in a minute. We have our color, which is, I guess, kind of like an EQ from soft to hard. Stereo width all the way to the left is mono, all the way to the right will push things out to the side, and I actually took advantage of this. We have their reverb, which is quite lovely. And then within this little cog wheel, you can change up your rooms, size, modulation, all kinds of things that you can tweak within that. On this side, you have your mic positions. So close, mid, far. You can mute and solo. You have individual control over each one, or you have this very, very cool slider that you can just kind of bring out for a very, very close sound. Or a very kind of more further back sound, depending on what you're going for. So this is, I really like this. This is a quick way of getting it maybe close to the way that you want it, but then you also have individual control to really dial in the sound that you want. Down here we have instrument placement. So we have how the instruments were actually recorded in their natural position. You'll hear it slightly off-centered to the left side. But the cool thing about that is you can customize it and move it wherever you want. So let's check this out. Now it's over there. And you can put that violin anywhere you want. For instance, if you're writing a piece for solo violin, let's say it's a piano and violin piece, you're going to want that violin dead center. So in which case you could move it right up there. There's also a center stereo position, which is basically as close of a mix as you can get to the player. So lots of customization just within this little thing. I'm going to come back to the legato settings in a minute. We have some general controls, dynamic range. If I put it all the way down, they have a very, very short range, and I'm moving the mod wheel as we're doing this. Key switch range, I didn't really mess around with that, to be honest with you. And then we have our articulations, which we'll talk about. We're going to save legato for the last one. I know that you're most interested in that. We're going to come back to legato. Okay, let's listen to the sustains. Okay, we're going to dial up a little splash more reverb. Okay, so sustain are polyphonic, so you can play more than one key at the same time. Okay, so as you can tell, I really love the sustains. Beautiful, lovely sound. You got the very, very soft harmonics. Also polyphonic. And I used a little bit of the harmonics in the composition. Lovely, airy sound. These have a very, very warm, intimate sound. Think small, think indie film, think documentary. I think this is what this library is custom tailored for. Sustain slow. So you see how it just kind of carries on. Very, very slow, soft, very, very lovely patch. Gesture. Okay, so it's a little bit more of a short. As you can see, these are not common articulations. You're not seeing staccato and pizzicato and all those crazy articulations that we're used to seeing in string libraries. They're doing things in a different way. Short swells. So you get that really, really nice in and out kind of sound. Then they have mediums. It's a little bit longer of a swell. And then we have long. So you can see we're crescendo and diminuendo. Okay, so this basically just controls the length of them coming in and out. Now, I haven't talked about the legatos. I need a prop to describe this. So you remember when they came up and there was gargantuan and there was the black hole and there was the pearl. Do not go gentle. No, it's not quite like that. There's some serious, serious tech going on. Will Bedford did a very detailed video on the smart legato. So I'm not going to go into details and even try to explain the tech. The long and the short of it is they've created this amazing legato engine that's probably one of the most realistic ones you've ever heard. If I play really softly, you get that portamento where it's sliding in. Lovely. I mean, who doesn't like portamento, right? Okay, let's go back to the screen here. So if I play louder, okay, then we have like kind of like a regular, not a regular legato, but you don't have the portamento. Okay, so you have to kind of play around with it, but once you do, and once you kind of figure out how hard or soft to press to trigger those velocities, it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Absolutely gorgeous. I mean, there's some beautiful patches in here, but I think that the legatos are going to be what people are really after. These soft, gorgeous, intimate string sounds. I can't stop playing it. I'm back. Now, interesting enough, I've kind of always preferred violin over viola until this library. And actually, you'll hear in my mix, the viola is almost featured more. It's more prominent in the mix. Not that there's anything wrong with the violin. I don't know. There's just something about the viola and that mid-range. It just has this gorgeous... Let's listen to the sustains. Get the harmonics. Listen to that, all that air in there. We could do Interstellar Part 2 with this. Sustain slows. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, gesture. Okay, swells short. Medium. We got long. Ooh. And so let's bring it all the way close. Lovely, lovely close sound. You got that real Scandi sound, okay? And then let's go all the way out. Okay, so much control with all these different mic positions. I've always wanted to play the cello. I think I would probably be lousy at it. Let's check out the legatos. Ignore my sloppy playing. Sustain. It's hard for me to pick a favorite patch. Okay, harmonics. So soft and lovely. Slow sustain. Short gesture. Beautiful sound. Lovely decay on these. These are the longs. I could play with these all day long. Okay, shorts. Sorry, short swells. I really like the short swells because it really lets you hear the beginning of the instrument, the attack, and then the nice, beautiful release. That little space in between. Absolutely gorgeous. Swell long. Let me just show you this too. Okay, we're going to change the reverb setting. They got this shimmer thing. It's just going and going. If you wanted more of an atmospheric, ambient influenced, shimmer would be the way to go. Okay, so lots of ways that you can tweak these sounds. So I had the short swells for the cello. All right, so we have a track doing that, and then the cello harmonics. And then legato cello. Okay, and then we have another. You'll see this all the time where I was just literally duplicating the same track just because I didn't like what I had done over here. And it's kind of like an overdub, but I created on a different track. And yes, I know that takes up more system resources, but I feel like that's the best way of mixing things. Then we have our solo viola sustains. Okay, and then our viola legato. Violin legato. I mean, you can really hear really what I want you to hear is the transition in between the notes. I think that's where this library just absolutely excels. Their Black Friday sale is on right now until December 9th. I've just started to dig into some of the other libraries from Fracture Sounds. I just find that a lot of their stuff is very, very different. It's very intimate. I think what they're going for is that close, intimate, smaller sound, which I absolutely love. If that's what you're looking for, this warm kind of, Oliver Arnold's Johan Johansson, if you're looking for that type of sound, that intimate, warm sound, I mean, these are just absolutely gorgeous. You can see a whole lot more Fracture Sound videos from me because I'm just literally blown away. So I'm going to play the track. That's it, my friends. Stay safe out there. Happy composing.